Hello everyone and welcome to another instalment of my college experience. This is where things start to hit the fan. Now first, I want to mention the lovely London trip that they went on the 22nd of November. It wasn't as good as the Stratford trip, but out of all the trips we've done, so Carwyn, Show Must Go On, Jack Absolute, When Darkness Falls and Christmas Carol, and now this, it was okay, it was good, right? If I had to rate all the shows from favourite to least favourite, it'd be Christmas Carol, Jack Absolute, Woman in Black, Carwyn, When Darkness Falls. Okay. So I had to wake up at 5 to be in college at 6 AM. I was going to get a McDonald's breakfast, but the one by college doesn't open till 6. Lovely 5 AM walk around the town centre, as you do. I'm very tired. So we were just waiting outside college and we got on the bus for about 6:20. Now, coming on this trip, in my group, there were 3 of us this time. Me, Loki and Matthew. We got on the bus and the helper was saying the usual, you know, seatbelts on, don't get up until we stop the bus. Then he begins to do the register. Now, some people's at the back were being quiet, and so the helper says to us, we had this beautiful phrase given to us: "If you could shout loudly, I don't have my glasses on." Oh, it was so funny. He was really nice, bless him, but oh my god, it was so funny. Anyway, I was sat by Matthew, and because there was no one behind us, we reclined our seats. We had a group photo, including one of Loki's friends. About 2 hours in then, we stopped at the service stations. I was hungry, so I got a Burger King breakfast at the service stations for a ridiculous £9. I got a milkshake and a breakfast burger. That's it. I thought I'd get something to go with the burger. There we are. Expensive, but the burger was nice. Matthew went to the shop and got something, and I went along. I got to the till, and in the spur of the moment, I decided to get a pack of gum. More on that later. It's oddly relevant. £1.50 for 3 packs. We got back to the bus and we get to London 2 hours later. We stopped at the Victoria and Albert Museum, which was our first attraction. I do love being able to bring my phone places because I take photos and videos. We were going to the drama exhibit where they showed stuff like the evolution of drama and famous drama sets. We were allowed to try on certain costumes. I'm in the film. You just like something out my nightmares. Look how furry he is. Look at, oh my god. 2. And then at that point we had a lovely message that we thought was part of the exhibit because there were sound effects, you know, as you do.
They were smoking in the toilets.
As you get, until I left one of the rooms and the warning continued, so we had to leave the building.
Attention please. Please leave the building immediately.
I'm going to get compensation.
At least we finished kind of anyway.
It turned out it was a fire alarm. I didn't know it was a fire, but by then we'd been ushered out and it was time for us to go. By the time the alarm went off though, we could go back in. It was time to leave. And we had to get on the London Underground. Right? Yeah. Right. Now, I'd never been on the London Underground. I only know the lovely song about it. But yeah, I'd never been on it before. And we were walking, and we'd go through these gates where you pay for. I just pull my phone and go through, because I got a thing on my phone, my card on my phone. And we waited for a train and got on. Now this ride confirmed that I cannot live in London, because it was...
Illness central Jamie.
We all just became trying to get on. Stop crying.
No one's getting on.
If this door opened, then so packed. It was like more packed than the buses after college. We got on the train and we had 2 hours of freedom in London. We were allowed to do what we wanted for 2 hours. So we went for food. And me and Loki decided to get a Chinese in this restaurant. We go in and we decided to get 2 sides and a drink each because it was expensive. Like a main meal was like 40 odd quid. But the sides were like £5-10 a piece. Now I convinced Loki to have a little alcoholic drink because why not? And we both got this strawberry drink that tasted really good. It's like red gin and other stuff, I don't know what was in it, with like a shell in it and like a pepper on top. And then it's on fire and everything. I had a fiery drink. How cool is that? It was a bit expensive at £14 a drink, but very nice. Now, remember, whilst I dislike, it allows me to have the fun I can because of the money. Anyway, here's our photo of our food together. Mine's on the right, the shredded beef, a lovely prawn soup, and my drink, which cost about £30 altogether, which is expensive, but Christmas and treat. So, anyway, I loved it, but Loki didn't, so I ended up eating most of Loki's. And so as a result, when it came to the bill, I was kind and I put towards £5 of Loki's meal. I got the bill and oh my god, we were not laughing then. I'm not joking, I swear down, it came to £89. I'll explain, right? Minus the £5 because Matthew only got a Coke. Minus £32-ish for the drink and the food, times 2. Service fee at plus VAT at £20. I almost fainted, and then we had table service as well. I paid £42 altogether for everything you see here, apart from Loki's drink and one of the rolls. Loki had it worse off, though, spending a bit less than that on food that he didn't like. But my stomach was happy, so there we go. I had the better deal out of that. Now let's do a little recap for my spending on this trip, so you can judge me and I can feel guilty for overspending my money, right? So £46 to even go on the trip, I paid. I paid £42 for that bloody meal. £10 for Burger King breakfast and gum. £98 altogether. We got back with the rest of the class still mentally recovering from the huge gaping hole in our wallets. And we go in the theatre. We get our tickets and we go in. But by now, I was thirsty and I did what I didn't want to do. I bought a bottle of Coke for £4. So I spent £102 on the trip. It wasn't even the best show we ever seen. It was an alright show. Not the best, not the worst. I had to have Loki explain the plot a bit though, because in the second half it got a bit it got confusing. But then I also got thirsty again, and I fancied a bottle of water. Now, because we're in London, obviously they wanted £3 for a bottle of bloody water, so I spent... I don't even want to say it. But I was disgusted with my spending on this. It wasn't even my favourite trip. I spent like half of that on Stratford, and I loved it more. Then we got back on the London Underground to get the bus to get back to college for 9 o'clock. And it was a good trip, you know, my second favourite overall. But I definitely regret spending so much. Oh, and then a few days later I was billed for using the London Underground for £5, so... I spent that money on a college trip. This isn't a brag, right? It's an exposure of my awful spending in December. This taking place during my lovely money talk I was on about last video. So I've made an agreement now, it's now 2023, to cut back a lot more until the money's back up. It was a good trip, I want to emphasise that. It was a good trip. But it doesn't come close to Stratford, that was the best trip. There were no bumper cars to fight on, and we only had half our group in this trip, so half the fun. But there we go. Overall, it was good. Not the best trip, not the worst. Yeah. Now, as you may know, I've also got university to deal with. I've got two options, right? You're meant to have 5, but I've got 2. Either University of South Wales or the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama. Ideally, the last one, right? But they're both amazing. I sent off both my applications, 2 different pathways. I got a response from USW on the 20th of November with a contextual offer. Right? I need 2 Bs and a C to study there. Now, a contextual offer just means that if I get the requirements, so those 2 Bs and a C at least, preferably higher, but there we are, then I have a confirmed place at the uni. It's nice to know I am going to university, right? I'm definitely going. My second option is confirmed. I just need to try and see if I can get my first. Do you know what I mean? If I get my second, I'm still very happy. But if I get my first one, it'd be amazing. Now, around the start of January, I got an email from the Royal Welsh College saying to book an interview slot. And I did. And I booked it for the 13th. I had a week and a half to learn 2 monologues from the interview. Or for the interview. For a solid 2 weeks, I have had 5 scripts on my mind. I'll let part of me explain. It's currently 6 o'clock. It's the day before we go back to college. Dark out, as you can tell from not being able to see me. I've got 5 scripts that I've got to learn at the moment. I've got Chicago. I've got my 2 scripts from my A-level drama. And 2 scripts from my university audition. Same time next week, the audition scripts, I won't have to know anymore. So I'll have 3 scripts to deal with until March. Once March goes by, I'm aware that all the most difficult stuff is going to be over. It'll just be exams then. So yeah, I'm aware that the next 3 months are going to be agony. But then after that, it's all heavenly and easy and job done. Interview tomorrow. I need to get it over and done with now. I've got too much to learn. I honestly do. I need to focus on my A-level drama after the interview tomorrow. Yeah. I've got to get media done today. So I've got loads to think about at the moment. I need to get this over with. I've just finished Welsh, coming out of the campus now to go back to my main campus. Then I've got my audition, my practice for the audition for the National Theatre, and that's today, because I got that today. And tomorrow's the audition for my first choice uni. Then after that, I've got my audition for the National Theatre. So there's lots going on this week. It's much busier than usual. My schedule is jam-packed. And yeah. But I've known for a while that things were going to get busy. I've known it. I've got it all figured out though, right? I focused on the monologues until today. And then from tomorrow onwards, I'll be able to focus on just my A-level drama scripts. Why not today, you ask? Well, not only have I auditioned for my first choice uni, but also for the National Theatre. They're coming to my acting club for a workshop and then an audition. So that's going to be fun. For that though, I only needed to know 1 monologue. So one of the 2 monologues I did for my first choice uni, I chose one of them. I did it twice. It's just easier, isn't it? No point doing 3 monologues because that'd be hell. The first choice uni audition went okay, I think. I set up downstairs so I had space to move around, do what I need to do. I had my phone balanced on an ironing board, and the interview worked as thus. So there were 2 actors there who introduced themselves. I performed the 2 monologues. One of them then told me to try the first one differently, because the interview is also about can you take direction from a director, because drama school you're going to need to be able to. So I did, and then the call was over. I was worried at first, thinking that because it's such a short call, about 10 to 15 minutes, I'd done crap. But I watched the little video about the audition process, and it said that that's how long it would be, and it's really short. the round 1, because that's round 1 of 2. And remember, this was part of the £62 option with UCAS, as mentioned in a previous My College Experience, because to send off your application to a normal university is £27. To send off an application to a drama school or a specialised school, it's £27 plus a £35 audition fee. So I paid £62 for the opportunity to audition. Testing how plausible this is for my audition, because I'm thinking white background, camera tripod, yeah. There we go. Holes in the Skin by whoever it was, I don't know. It wasn't my fault. I had a fracas with a school kid once. I broke his neck. Unfortunately for me, well, I suppose unfortunately for him, actually, I pushed him off a wall. I mean, it wasn't my fault. He overslept. He said, holes in the skin, trying the piece out serious. Holes in the Skin by whoever. It wasn't my fault. I had a fracas with a school kid once. I broke his neck, but it wasn't my fault. What am I saying? But it wasn't my fault. It was my fault. The next line is unfortunately for me. Holes in the Skin by whoever it is. Trying the piece as if I'm begging, pleading. It wasn't my fault. I had a fracas with a school kid once. I broke his neck. Unfortunately for me, I suppose unfortunately for him as well, I broke his neck. He said I pushed him, but I didn't really. I got 4 years for that. I was guilty of GBH with intent. But I didn't intend. A lot was made of that. Oh no, I didn't intend. The judge said I should have forswore the consequences. A lot was made of that in court, with the judge and the jury and everything. That's what's wrong against us. Also, I looked older by the time I came to court. The lad was in a wheelchair, which didn't help us. He was bound to get all the attention. And then my antecedents were read out, and I'd had shoplifting charges and cautions and all that. The judge said he had no choice but to send me down. He said that I was on a slippery slope and a very dangerous young man. But I wasn't a young man. I was a kid acting out for always that last line. Holes in the Skin by whoever it is, trying the piece out serious. It wasn't my fault. I had a fracas with a school kid once. I broke his neck. I broke his neck. I broke his neck. I had a fracas with a school kid once. I broke his neck. Unfortunately for me, well, I suppose unfortunately for him, I pushed him off a wall. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. He overbalanced. They said I pushed him, but I didn't. I got 4 years for that. I was guilty of GBH with intent. But I didn't intend. A lot was made of that in court with the judge and the jury and everything. That's what swung it against us. I looked older by the time I came to court. The lad was in a wheelchair, which didn't help us. He was bound to get all the attention. And then my antecedents were read out. I'd had shoplifting charges and cautions and all that. The judge said he had no choice but to send me down. He said I was on a slippery slope and a very dangerous young man. But I wasn't a young man. I was a kid acting out. Holes in the Skin by whoever. We can start here. It wasn't my fault. I had a fracas with a school kid once. I broke his neck. Unfortunately for me, I suppose unfortunately for him, I pushed him off a wall. It was an accident. He overslipped. He said I pushed him, but I didn't really. I got 4 years for that. I was guilty of GBH with intent, but I didn't intend. The judge said I should have forswore the consequences. I was 15. The boy was 11. A lot was made of that in court with the judge and the jury and everything. That's what swung it against us. Also, I looked older by the time I came to court. The lad had a wheelchair, which didn't help things. All the sympathy was bound to be with him. And then my antecedents were read out, and I'd had shoplifting charges and cautions and all that. The judge said he had no choice but to send me down. He said I was on a slippery slope and a very dangerous young man. But I wasn't a young man. I was a child who had acted out on a whim for no reason. I'll find out how well I did in about 2 to 3 weeks. I'll get an email saying I've either advanced to round 2, which is learning 2 more monologues, but turning up to the place in person, or I haven't succeeded, so I'm going for a second choice uni, right? If I do succeed to round 2, I'll be there in person, but I've got to learn 1 monologue from Shakespeare and 1 from another contemporary source, so a modern day monologue. But until then, I'm focusing on A-level drama. I've got loads to think about, but the number of monologues at the moment I gotta know has dropped to 3. So a little bit of weight off my shoulders. Hello, so you might remember this lovely priority chart I made. I've shown it in a previous My College Experience installment. Basically, things I need to focus on are at the top, going down to things that I can chill about. Alright, simple enough. This is my acting club here. I've turned it around because privacy. So these are the things that I need to worry about in order of chill, in order of focus to chill. I've just finished my, this is for the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, and this is my National Theatre in audition, right? However, I have just finished my audition for now, so that can be removed. I can take that out. There we go. Can't pick it up. There we are. That's 1 less thing for me to worry about. And tomorrow, I can't pick it up. There we go. Tomorrow I've got my lovely audition for the National Theatre, so that's got to go up there as well. After tomorrow, I can focus on my A-level, on my A-level drama, I think. So I'm going to do a swapsies with these 2. That's going to move up slightly. That's going to move up slightly. And that's going to move up slightly because I got my Oracy, my Welsh Oracy coming up in March. I got media coursework to finish. Driving lessons, I might move that down actually because there's no time limit, no deadline for me to have to do that. And drama, also in March, I've got 2 scripts to learn on top of the one with my acting club. So yeah. Yeah. But that is the end of this video. Thank you for watching all. Be sure to like, subscribe. Have a good day. Don't forget to drink hot chocolate. Stay safe. and from me, it's goodbye for now. Hello, so today is Saturday. It's the last day that I'm going to need to know these monologues. I'm just going to be good to get rid of them, to be honest. I only need to know the one for the National Theatre audition. We've got a little workshop first. I don't know what else going to be about. And then we get lunch. And then we have the audition. After the audition, I've got to go to work. So I've got a really busy day today. But after today, I'm aware then that I can just focus entirely on A-level drama, which would be good. So I've got my audition next for the National Theatre. That's in an hour. We just got to get food. So I had a really good workshop with the National Theatre. Then after today, that's those monologues over with. I find out in May whether I made it in or not. And then yeah, then I can go back to prioritising A-level drama after today. So I've got my audition today for the National Theatre, or practice for the audition for the National Theatre. Before then, that's at 4. It's coming about 2 o'clock now. I want to do a tiny bit more of my media filming, then writing the script for the monologue I'm doing, then going to the practice for the audition. So it's after the audition. I think it went well. I did my best, answered some questions, and yeah. Then I had work. So I only got half the uniform because yeah. Well, Mum got the uniform, bless her, but I forgot to tell Mum about getting the shoes. So yeah, and the hat. So I only had what I'm wearing now, the t-shirt and the trousers. So I was coming in with my blue shoes and without my hat. But the office gave me a hat for me to use on the shift, which would have been fine. But it's the blue shoes that they disagree with, so I can't work. Which is fair. I'm not too gutted about missing 7 hours of McDonald's. Do you know what I mean? Yes, the pay, but it's been a good day overall.